Hello, this is a training tutorial for residents of the Pediatric program. Today we're going to show you how to log your learning experiences using TRES. Let's dive right in. As soon as you log into your account, under the Activities drop-down menu at the top, you can select Enter New Activity. Let's go ahead and do that now. This will take you to the Activity Entry screen. And you can see under the Activity Type drop-down menu, we have Academic, Evaluation, and Procedures. We'll go through each of these in a little more detail later on. Let's just look at Academic for now. So under Activity Setting, you can see it defaults to today's date, but of course I can select a different date in the past if I wish. Under Training Center, we can specify the location we were at. In this example, I'll just select one option. We can also specify the duration or time spent. So in this case, hours and minutes. And if I click inside of hours, you can see the drop-down menu here, and I can just click on any of these options. So let's just say I spent 2 hours and 15 minutes on this session. Now I'm just going to clear that and show you that you can just type in the hours and minutes yourself. You don't have to select from the menu here. And we can select our attending physician that was present. In this case, I'll just select one option. All right, let's go to the activity detail. So under role, we have attendee or presenter. So I'm just going to select that I was an attendee and specify the type of activity. In this case, perhaps I was at a ground rounds or journal club session. So let's just select journal club for this example. And now I can also document the topic that was discussed as well. So this is just a free-form text field, so I could just type in whatever I like. And optionally under self-evaluation, we can specify how much we felt we learned in that session. So on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm going to select 5 that I actually learned a lot of useful and relevant skills and knowledge. And under private notes, this is another optional field. You can write any information that you wish in this area. It is not shared with the program or any consultants. So I'm just going to leave that blank for now and save my academic activity. And of course, I can also click Save and New or Save and Duplicate, and we'll go into those in just a moment. So let's just try Save and New. So that's going to save the activity that I just entered. And this creates a brand new academic activity. And what that actually does is, no matter what activity you have previously entered, this will create a new activity based on the previous selection. So because I just entered an academic activity, this is creating a brand new academic activity. So let's just try and switch it up. I'm just going to select evaluation. Let's go ahead and fill out an evaluation activity. So once again, I'm just going to leave today's date and select a training center. And under rotations, I can select one of the rotations that are relevant for this evaluation. Now, let's just select pediatric neurology. Now, this is a long list of rotations, so if you know what you're looking for, you don't necessarily have to scroll through the list. You can use the type to search feature. So let's just try that again. You can see it says type to search. So this works just like a Google search. So we just have to type in a few key letters. Let's just type in pediatric. And you can see as I start typing, it will automatically suggest a relevant rotation. And we can use our keyboard shortcuts, just the up and down arrows to navigate the list as well. And I'm just going to select pediatric neurology. So now I've added my rotation. So under the trainee evaluation section, we can go ahead and just fill this out. Now, it defaults to the last attending physician that you selected here, so I'm not going to change that for now. And on a scale of 1 to 5, I can answer all of these questions. So let's just start with knowledge and assignments. And you can see as I change the options here, the text underneath the scales changes as well. And I'm just going to give myself a pretty good score here on all these questions. So this is just a great way to assess your own skills, your communication skills, and your management and planning skills as well. So let's just go ahead and fill the rest of these options out. and my attendance and punctuality was pretty good, so I'll give myself a very good score. And once I'm satisfied with the completion, I'll just check this evaluation complete checkbox. I can also provide additional notes if I want to share any other notes about this particular evaluation. And of course, I can also save that. So let's just click Save and New for now. All right, so now let's try entering a procedure. All right, so you can see the fields have changed on the procedure form now. So let's just go ahead and select our training center like usual. We can select one of our rotations here. I'm going to select ambulatory care. And I can select the encounter type. So in this instance, perhaps this was an outpatient. And the clinic setting, let's just select patient. And we can select our assessed disorder in the patient interaction section. You can see these are all broken down by categories, so it's quite detailed. But of course, once again, we can use the type to search feature. So for example, I'm going to search for the word alcohol. And you can see as I start typing in a few letters, it'll automatically suggest a relevant option. Let's just try and select one of these. Now I can select more than one, and it will default allow you to select a maximum of 5. So I can select more. As you can see here, it just keeps adding them to the list. And of course, to remove any, it's just as easy as clicking the X button. So let's just fill out some of the more patient-specific information, such as the age group. And in this instance, I worked with adolescents, so I'll just select that. Now I can log the procedure, and the procedures are actually broken down by junior or senior level, so these will be different. And you can see the options under each category varies. So let's just select a procedure here, and I'm going to select resuscitation skills. And of course, I can also select more than one procedure, once again, just by selecting sequential items like that. And for this particular procedure, I can specify whether I assisted or performed or observed. So I'm just going to say I actually performed this procedure. And optionally, in self-evaluation, I can assess my own confidence and competence, as well as my own personal comfort during that procedure. This is totally optional, but it is encouraged. It's also really helpful at a later date. If you do regularly evaluate your own abilities, you can go back and sort of look at the progression, whether or not you felt more confident and competent as your training progressed. It's always good to see that. So I'm actually just going to give myself a good score that I was actually quite confident and felt independent for this particular procedure. And of course, I can also write some additional notes about that procedure. And let's actually duplicate this feature, because we haven't really talked about that much yet. So let's just duplicate that procedure. So this is a great time saver if you need to log multiple procedures, but you don't necessarily want to re-enter all of the information in there. So for example, perhaps you may perform certain types of procedures quite frequently. So this is a time saver, and you can see that by clicking duplicate, it saved all of the information that I previously entered. So I can now very easily just change one or two things without having to redo all of those steps. So let's just change one or two options here. Perhaps I will select a different role. I assisted in this case. And now that I've done that, I can just click Save. And saving will just take me straight to the View Activities page. So on the activities page, it's basically broken down by two sections. So you have your filters and your activities, and the activities will be listed here, all the ones that you entered in the system. And the filters are a great way to just go back and search for specific types of activities you may find interesting, or perhaps you want to look up. And so we can just use the date range filters. And I'm just going to leave the default date range there. I can also select one of the specific filters in here. So for example, perhaps I want to pull up a specific activity where I performed a very specific procedure. I can just select that procedure in the list here and pull up those activities. So I can actually customize all of these filters. So in my own account, I have added these filters. However, you may want to add your own filters, whatever you feel is more useful to you. So to do that, I just click the Customize Filters button on the right-hand side. And you can see the checkboxes for the filters that I have on that page, so I can uncheck any. Let's just actually try and add a few filters here. So I'm going to add activity type. But personally, I like to be able to filter by the various types of activities that I enter in the system. So let's just select that option, and I will select rotations. And once I'm happy with that, I just click Done. All right, now you can see the filters have changed. So now I have the rotations filter that I just added, and I also have the role and the activity type. So let's just try and pull up all of the procedure activities. So I'm going to select procedures and click Find Activities. There we go. So it pulled up 2 activities. Now, of course, I can go back and edit an existing activity if I didn't complete it, or perhaps I made a mistake and I want to edit that particular activity. Just click the Edit button and it takes you straight to that activity. So that's how you edit an activity. So we talked about customizing filters. You can also customize the columns in the activities page. So all of the activities are listed in chronological order, but of course I can just change it by clicking on the date column to change the sort order. It's very easy, just like that. I can also drag and drop these columns and change the information on this page and just reorder this. So once again, just clicking on these columns and dragging them in the order that I want. I can also remove any of these columns or add additional ones to display different kinds of information. And so to do that, just on the Customize Columns button here, if I click on that, it'll ask me which columns I want to add or remove. So to do that, all I need to do is just click on Visible Columns and select one of the options. So for example, perhaps I want to remove one of these options and add activity type. So I could just select it, drag it into Visible Columns. And once it's in there, I can also reorder those columns just by clicking and dragging as well. Pretty simple to do. And once I'm happy with that, I can just click Done. So now you see the columns have changed. So I have activity type, and I have patient age group and role. And of course, I can change the sort order once again. So that's how you customize the columns on your activities page. And that is the activities page. So we've talked about how to view your activities and how to customize this page. And we've also looked at how to log all of your different types of unique activities in the system. So now let's talk a little bit about our mobile apps. So if you click on the mobile apps button in your account, you'll find links to our iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry app. So once you click on these, you'll be taken to the App Store and you can download those. Those are totally free apps. And we encourage you to do so. Under the Help menu, you'll find a link to your preferences. And if you click on preferences, you can do things like change your password, update your account information, such as your name and email address. And that's actually quite important. And the reason for that is because if you find yourself in a situation where you have forgotten your password, you will not be able to retrieve or reset your password without a valid email address. So if you do plan on changing your email address, please make sure you do update your account information. Under the Help menu, you will also find links to FAQs, which stands for Frequently Asked Questions. You'll find a link to troubleshooting articles, as well as contact links and tutorials. And if you click on Contact, you'll be able to reach us by email or by phone as well. And that is the Help menu. So that's it, and thanks for joining us.